Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm just about to leave to shoot EFL League 2 action today. Tranmere Rovers are away to Crewe, so I'm going to make that short journey. It's less than an hour from here, and I'm going to take you along with me and show you a little bit behind the scenes. Incredibly, it is a beautiful day, a lovely autumn day, blue sky, bright sunshine, no rain expected until way late into the evening, so that shouldn't be a problem for me today. So let's get the gear packed and get up to the ground. So that was a nice short drive. It's taken me a little over an hour to get up here. A little bit of traffic en route, but not too bad. The weather is still absolutely glorious. Beautiful autumn day, mostly blue skies with only a little bit of cloud. So that will make for some great photos. Should allow me to get the shutter nice and high without kind of blowing the ISO really high as well. Having shot here before, the stands on three sides of the stadium are pretty low, which means if and when the sun does come around, particularly in the second half, assuming the teams shoot the way they normally would, given the home side's tendency to shoot towards a particular end second half. If that happens again, then we might have some pretty low sunshine in the second half that we're shooting directly into. That could be a problem. However, hopefully, maybe the sun will go down a touch more before that, it being into autumn now anyway. So I set the laptop up before I left last night, so that's all good to go. I will try and show you the workflow a little bit once we're inside and shooting. So I'm going to get my stuff out the boot. No need to put waterproofs on today. I'm going to actually just risk maybe even a rain jacket and some trainers on top of this. So no heavy all-weather gear just yet. Then we're going to walk over to the stadium. You can just about see it behind me there. Last thing just to know, I came here with my dad, aged 16, back in 1999, as a fan to watch Tranmere win 2-0. That was the last time they've won at the stadium in the league. It has been about 25 years since then. So hopefully our luck changes today and I've got a few goals to share with you. Sadly, I didn't realise that I'd just knocked the camera over, and so you can probably guess what's going to happen next. Sadly, the camera falling over was a bit of a sign of what was to come. Tranmere conceded an equalising goal just before half-time, and in the second half, the sun, as I mentioned a bit earlier, had come right around just above the stand, as you can see on these two photos. In the second half, as far as the football was concerned, Tranmere were not very good and lost the game 3-1 despite taking that early lead. From a photography point of view, it was a real challenge. Two reasons really. One, not much action of interest to me covering Tranmere, but secondly, this sun was pretty much drowning out everything with a really harsh backlight. And that is where probably the key feature of today's video comes in using the Dehaze tool in Adobe Lightroom. If you haven't tried the Dehaze tool as of yet, then I definitely recommend you do. It's not just for misty and foggy conditions, but in games like this, when the sun has really just bleached the whole photo, The Dehaze tool can really do a great job in pulling some of the photo back, especially if you've shot in RAW mode. So much so, I thought I'd do this little screen recording of some photos from this very game and how the Dehaze tool managed to rescue some of them, not all of them, but certainly some of them, to a point where they could be included in a match gallery. You'll see here with this photo of the goalkeeper, I mess about a little bit with contrast and clarity just to see the effects on the photo, and you can see that it doesn't do too much, but when you do then start playing around with the Dehaze slider, then you do start to get a bit of that clarity back in the photo so that you can then work with it a little bit. Again, it doesn't produce a perfect result, but you can see, turn it on and off again, how much difference it does actually make, so that if you really need to use this photo, for example, you can do. You'll also see when I then make a crop of the image and use the Dehaze tool, you can really see how the image can actually come back to a pretty decent standard. Having a quick look through some of the other pictures here as well, this photo of the players huddled around somebody claiming to be injured on the turf. Again, with a little bit of dehaze and cropping, this image comes from being a little bit weak and pointless to being quite an interesting photo. Or not interesting, but one worth capturing. And I often take photos of things like this, players lying injured and weird little, what look like non-events really happening in the game, just in case on the off chance anything does come of them. Now this incident here was, at the time, very, very kind of irrelevant, I guess, in the context. There was a few claims that something had gone on, but nobody saw anything and play continued. However, a few days after the game, one of the Tranmere players was actually given a 3-match ban for whatever happened before this photo. So rescuing this photo at this point actually had a little bit of value in the end. Sadly, I didn't get any footage of me shooting second half. I was kind of crammed right at the side of the pitch. It's a really tight area, so I didn't want to risk setting a little camera up again. So I'll leave this video here. I will shoot another one of these in the next few weeks. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on the next video.